Thank you. Let's bring it back to Nairobi. The National Assembly Committee on Labour and Social Welfare has accused the top management of Kenya Airways, Kenya Airports Authority and the Cabinet Secretary for Transport CS Macharia of a casual approach to issues of national importance after they snubbed an invitation to appear before the committee to explain what triggered a strike by the Kenya Aviation Workers Union that paralyzed operations at Kenya's airports. The union appeared before the committee and said workers who have resumed work are now working under duress and intimidation. In the National Assembly chambers, a section of members accused the House leadership of attempting to gag members from debating the controversial takeover of Jomo Kenyatta International Airport by Kenya Airways.
A section of officials from the Kenya Aviation Workers Union appeared before the National Assembly Committee on Labour and said the strike that paralyzed operations at Kenya's airports was caused by the proposal by Kenya Airways to take over operations at the Jomo Kenyatta International Airport. The unionists say the proposal is shrouded in secrecy and will lead to job losses.
To be very honest, management refused to meet us. We even made an attempt before the strike so that we can solve these issues.
We are very ready, even now, to engage in a return to work formula, but we don't know with whom. If our leaders are in, and they're the same people who are supposed to sign whatever agreement we can agree on.
And those crew are being intimidated by the management because they're saying you're going to be sacked, you're going to be dismissed, they are working in those areas, which I hope JKIA Civil Aviation will be hearing me. They are working under duress because of the thorough and heavy threats which are coming up about dismissal and termination of contract.
The workers say they are subjected to unfair human resource practices such as secure recruitment policy, discriminative remuneration, and an influx of foreigners in Kenya Airways and Kenya Airports Authority in the name of consultants.
We are letting people come to our country and employ cheaper labor.
He introduced something called deed of indemnity, where individual employee is being told to sign a sort of an agreement that you will be given this money or this increment, and you will never claim anything from any other CBA going backwards.
The committee censured Cabinet Secretary JKIA Macharia for snubbing it.
We invited KIA, we invited KQ, we invited the ministry. All of them brought back saying we rescheduled this meeting. That in itself shows how casual these people handled this conflict. The other issue, court ruled in 5th of February, asking the Minister Labour to appoint conciliators to this particular conflict. They waited up to when the strike was on, is when they named the 3 mediators to this particular conflict.
Members also asked the Ministry of Transport, KAA, KQ and the Union to immediately resume genuine dialogue under the umbrella of the conciliation mechanism initiated by the CS Labour Ukur Yatani. Inside the National Assembly chambers, a preliminary report by the Public Investments Committee seeking Parliament approval to stop the planned takeover of JKIA by Kenya Airways generated heated debate.
As we speak, there was a strike at JKIA. What is the cause of that strike? Mr. Speaker, the cause of that strike is about the issue of the takeover between KQ and KAA.
If JKIA is the source of revenue of KAA, where 83% of the revenue comes from JKIA, if the process is rushed by maybe a person who is chair to both sides, definitely there is something interesting.
I therefore find it strange, Mr. Speaker, that we are discussing an issue, or you are just about to make a decision on an issue that has not been conceived. It's still at the conception stage.
Are we gagging ourselves? And if we are, what are the reasons? And that's where I concur with Honorable Bunyasi. What are we scared of? What are we scared of? Is there something that's scaring us that we can now gag ourselves so that we end up not actually debating these matters?
Majority Whip, I challenge him to actually come here and tell us the date at which we invited Kenya Airways. I challenge him.
Now,
With facts, Mr. Speaker, this is a house of record. Committees are recorded with handsets.
The Speaker will make a ruling next week on which committee should be given a go-ahead to investigate the highly controversial merger between Kenya Airways and Kenya Airports Authority. Patrick Amimo, KTN News.
And in the same breath, it's back to business as flights at the Jomo Kenyatta International Airport resumed after industrial action on Wednesday. Brenda Kerubo did a spot check at the facility and filed this report.
Security checks, ticket checks, it's back to business at the Jomo Kenyatta International Airport.
I think everything's been going smoothly so far today. I'm glad I didn't have a flight yesterday though.
To be quite honest with you, I haven't experienced any disruptions. I booked my tickets earlier. I haven't received any notifications from KQ, so I'm assuming I'm still scheduled to fly.
Nonetheless, Kenya Airways announced in a statement that they had cancelled 3 flights by 2 p.m. Thursday, while passengers affected by Wednesday's aviation workers' industrial action were rebooked to other flights.
I was here yesterday for about 5 hours. I came in early. I was supposed to fly to Mombasa, but to come in, the operations were paralyzed completely. So I stayed here for some time. It was quite inconveniencing. So I had to go back home and come today again.
Other foreign airlines operating at JKIA had some cancellations as well as delays. Kenya Airport Authority says all of its staff reported for duty on Thursday and on time. They worked together with the Kenya Air Force team who were brought in by the Transport Ministry on Wednesday. At the same time, 10 workers belonging to the Kenya Aviation Workers Union remained in custody at the airport's police station. A source close to the matter says the 3 officials and 7 members of the union failed to get bail because the magistrate at the airport court was not present. They will be arraigned tomorrow morning at 9 a.m.
Macharia, if he's assisting Uhuru Kenyatta, he has a priority responsibility on his shoulders to ask management to immediately go back, even if it is to court, to free the union officials who are accredited to sign a return to work formula on behalf of workers.
The aviation workers gave a strike notice as required by law. They called for dialogue, yet nobody engaged them. When they went on strike, they were brutalized. This is a huge shame in this day and age of open governance.
Some form of normalcy might have returned here at Jomo Kenyatta International Airport, but still, so many issues remain unresolved. It is a wait-and-see approach as to whether cow union officials as well as the Transport Ministry will actually reach an agreement in regard to the matter. Brenda Kerubo, KTN News.
Yeah, let's see how that plays out in the coming days. You're watching KTN Prime.